They told me I had to rip out my vegetable garden, not because it was messy, not because it was unsafe, but because it wasn't on the HOA's approved landscaping list. One summer, I decided to turn a corner of my front yard into a vegetable patch. Nothing huge, just a neat little garden with tomatoes, peppers, basil, and a few herbs. I built tidy raised beds, mulched the walkways, and even added solar lights. It looked good, smelled good, and my kids loved helping pick vegetables in the evening. But a week later, a letter showed up in my mailbox. Notice of violation. Unauthorized landscaping. Remove vegetable garden immediately or face $100 daily fines. I couldn't believe it. The garden wasn't overgrown. It wasn't ugly. It was healthier than most of the patchy lawns in the neighborhood. So I called the HOA office. Their explanation? Vegetable gardens are not part of the approved landscaping plan. Only grass, shrubs, and certain flowers are permitted in front yards. I argued, it's my property. The garden is tidy, it's sustainable, and it feeds my family. But the board didn't care. They threatened escalating fines and even liens on my home if I didn't comply. That's when I started digging, not in the soil, but in the law. After hours of research, I discovered something powerful. My state had recently passed a right to garden law. It protected homeowners' rights to grow fruits and vegetables on their property. HOAs weren't allowed to ban it outright. Armed with that knowledge, I refused to tear it out. Instead, I documented everything. Photos of the tidy raised beds, copies of the violation letters, and even my kids helping in the garden. Then I sent the HOA a certified letter quoting the law word for word. Their response: our community standards take precedence. Remove it or face further action. That was their mistake. I contacted a local reporter who jumped at the story. Within days, the headline ran, HOA orders family to destroy vegetable garden despite state law. The footage showed my kids picking tomatoes, neighbors admiring the garden, and the violation letter taped to my door. Public reaction was immediate and furious. Online comments poured in. How is a garden a violation? This HOA needs a hobby. They're banning food now? Neighbors began rallying too. Some admitted they'd wanted to plant gardens but were too afraid. Now emboldened, several started their own small plots. At the next HOA meeting, the board was cornered. I walked in with a copy of the law, the news article, and a petition signed by half the neighborhood. The board mumbled about aesthetics, but the truth was clear. They were in the wrong. By the end of the week, they caved. The fines were erased, the violation was dropped, and the bylaws were quietly updated to allow vegetable gardens under reasonable conditions. And here's the best part. The garden thrived. By fall, I was handing out tomatoes and peppers to the very neighbors who had signed the petition. The HOA that tried to ban food had ended up making the whole neighborhood greener. This story proves something important. HOAs often overreach, but laws and community support can shut them down. So tell me, would you fight your HOA if they told you to tear out your garden, or would you back down to avoid the fight? Drop your answer in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, because every week we bring you the wildest real HOA stories you won't believe.